Okay, so here we are, first time with Rumi. So again, we'll take a poll, see how you guys are doing, how you were feeling your way through Rumi. So let's see, I'm gonna put you on gallery view. All right, let me see all your faces, everybody. Put your faces on so I can see you. Wu, Nisanov, Shah, Bello. Okay, by the way, Bello, are you there? Bello? Bello, Bello, Bello? Okay, Bello, I need to see you after class, Bello. So please stay after with a bunch of other people. You're not the only one. Okay. Okay, great. All right. So Rumi, any tens for Rumi? That meaning that you loved Rumi, was amazing, best thing ever happened to you, and then one is the worst thing ever. So any tens for Rumi? No. Okay. 9, 8, 8. Ah, okay. 1 8. 1 2 8. Okay. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so it's not bad. In general, seems like Rumi is well liked, more or less. 6 is a D, by the way. So if you thought you were doing him a favor. So okay, let's start with neutral ones, the sixes. Any sixes want to explain, sixes or fives want to explain why they gave such a low rating to Rumi? Let's see. No? Okay. Any of the eights?
Well,
Yes, go ahead.
I was a 6. I just thought it was a little bit hard to understand a lot of the things that he was talking about in the poems. Saying that there were a lot of things that I did understand and that I actually compared to the Song of Songs and to the Symposium. But yeah, there were just a few things that were just confusing and I wasn't really able to get into them.
Okay, very good, right? Remember, the reason Rumi writes like this is that he's trying to teach spiritual truths, right? And for that, he's expecting us to really be seekers, right? Rumi is hiding his meaning because he wants to reach only the seekers and not just anybody, right? He doesn't want to throw the pearls to the porks. You know this expression, to throw your pearls to the pigs? Is there, how do you guys say it? There's another way to say this in English, no? To throw like the best part of you to like the swine. Okay, so that's the idea, right? So Rumi doesn't want to just anybody to understand, right? Because these are deep, profound truths that need to be sought after. He wants to reach the seekers, and that's why he hides, right? So that only those who have enough tenacity, enough curiosity to explore will find the meaning. So that explains a little bit. Does that help, Ziegel? I think that was you I was talking to, right?
Yeah, that helps a lot. Thank you.
Very good. Anybody else want to add on the good side or on the bad side, their reaction to Rumi?
Okay, so I would like to share my opinion. I think the poems were very interesting. I just didn't understand some of the comparisons. Like there was one section where it was comparing love to a plant, I guess trying to say how it grows and the comparison to the river. So that part was a little bit unclear to me. But overall, I do agree with a lot that they teach about like what they were talking about how love changes and it grows and it can decrease and the importance of being honest with your partner. I thought that was very interesting.
Okay, very good. Yes, absolutely. And I don't understand everything either, right, in the poetry. In fact, some of the things that I'm going to teach have been explained to me by students, right? They saw more deeply what the meaning was than I, and then I incorporated into my teaching. So it's not easy, right, to understand. Hakimian, I think you had your hand up.
Yeah, hi. I really liked his poems. I thought they were very poetic. And he just seems like intelligent and very wise, and like it's just very obvious that he is. I've read this author by the name of, I've read books by the author Paulo Coelho, and I found that like his writing style and a lot of his messages like are very similar to Rumi's. I don't know if you've heard of him. But
type the name in the chat.
Yeah, sure. I can do that in a bit. But there was one part of the poem, No Expectations, that I was a little unclear of. It was like towards the second half of the poem, and it said, be clear like a mirror reflecting nothing. And I just found that really confusing. So
Yeah.
if you can like explain that.
Struggled with that one for years, and we're going to talk about it today, so no worries.
Okay, cool.
Last comment, I think Kaika had her hand up. Not anymore? Okay. All right, very good. Yes? Okay, go ahead. Whoever this is. Who is this? Nobody? Okay. All right, let's get into it because there's a lot for us today. Okay, I'm going to start with a king dressed as a servant. So you can already turn there. What did I do with my book? Here we go. Oh, Paulo Coelho. Okay, yeah. Okay, yes, excellent. Yes, absolutely. Yes, I know him. Yes, there are connections. You're right. Okay, where is the king dressed as a servant? What page? Anybody know? Can't find it. Ah, here, page 36, everybody. All right, so the way we're going to proceed today is a little different. Usually I just lecture. But because it's poetry and because it's so rich and it's so multifaceted, we're going today to interpret the poem together. So I'm going to be relying on you. I'll say a few of my interpretations, but I will also be listening to yours and incorporating yours, right, in the lecture. So we need to work together today. So I'll read a passage and then I will ask you, well, what do you think it means? And each passage has several ways to be interpreted. So I'm open to different interpretations, but we're going to do this together, like Plato has taught us to do, right? Together, intersubjectively. So, are you ready? Everybody ready to do this together? Put your hand out. Okay. I still don't see a few of your faces, which I need to see. Bello, Wu, Sha, Zorov, Hu. By the way, it helps your grade for me to see your face. Why? Because I know you, and it's harder for me to give you a bad grade. Aha. It's true. If I can visualize your face while I'm grading, it just breaks my heart, you know. Thank you, Akira. It breaks my heart. So I need to be seeing these faces. Paul, Sha, Wu, Zorov, Hugh, Sha, Wu, Zorov, Nisanov. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Sha. Finally, I get to see you, whoever you are with the mask. Who are you? What's your name? I can't see your name. Ah, Zora.
Zoro.
See, how can I teach ghosts, right? People I never see. So I need to see. Okay, Shai has explained he has a problem with his webcam. Woo, I don't even know what you look like. Woo, are you there? And these are the guys of the class too, no wonder. Woo, I'm waiting for you. It's recording, it's live on YouTube. We're all waiting for your face. Okay, don't have a webcam, but I guess, okay, yeah, use your phone next time, or even now if you can. Nisanov, are you here? Can we see your face? Nisanov, you're on the spot. Okay, no answer. All right. Good. All right, well, at least most of you now are here. Stay that way, okay? Now, I don't even know what I was doing. Yes, are we ready to interpret this together? Put your hands in the screen if you're good. All right, I'm gonna be relying on you fully during these next couple hours. Actually, let me get my phone so I can keep track of the time. All right, a king dressed as a servant. I'm gonna begin with the first couple lines, right? A sweet voice calls out, the caravan from Egypt is here. 100 camels with amazing treasure, midnight, a candle, and someone quietly waking me, your friend has come. Okay, so I want to focus on the midnight. Why do you think, first of all, who is the friend? Anybody figure out who is the friend in Rumi? It's always the same person. Anybody know who is this friend? You can put it in.
Is it God?
Yes, very good, right? For Rumi, the friend, or anytime he refers to the lover or the friend, is God, right? So in our case, the friend is the beloved, right? Because we are transposing, remember this poetry, which is normally spoken to the divine, we're transposing it on the level of human relationships, right? So the friend is the beloved. Now tell me, why does the beloved choose to come at midnight? What does it mean? What is the significance of midnight? Anybody know?
Could it be like the beginning of a new day?
Okay, so yeah, so in that sense, the beloved marks the beginning of a new day, right, for us. So that's one way to see it. Tamam, you said something also. Yes, Very good. So yes, that would apply even more to God, right? God comes to us in the darkness, right? God is coming from a dimension of mystery we don't always understand or control. It's the night when we're sleeping, right? That's when God comes. But why does God choose when we're sleeping to come? Anybody know? And not when we're, alert.
I don't think we're supposed to see God. He's supposed to be more of an idea than a being or an image. So he comes to us when we don't see him, but we know he's there still.
Okay, very good, right? Comes at night because he cannot reveal himself in the day, right? God reveals himself on another level. If you come to my philosophy of religion class, we talk about that, right? The fact that God doesn't reveal himself to the mind, to clarity, to intelligence. He reveals himself to the heart, right? It's a more mysterious, different approach. Very good. And Bello, yes, to watch over us. Okay, that's a nice way to put it, right? God comes at night to protect us. That's very nice. I like that. So now let's switch it to the beloved. Why does the beloved, so this is now in human relationships. So suppose you're single, right? The text is telling you your beloved will come at midnight. What does that mean? That the beloved comes to us at midnight. Technically, what are we supposed to be doing around midnight? Not in New York City, but over there in Afghanistan. Sleeping, right? New York City, that's when we go out. Midnight is when we're sleeping. So what does it mean that the beloved comes when we are sleeping? What is the meaning of this?
Could it be that they're coming in a dream and not actually there? Or is it like they're physically with you?
But he's talking about how the beloved actually comes. And of course, he's talking about it.
Okay.
Right? So he's trying to tell us something when he says the beloved comes at night, right? When we're sleeping. What is the meaning of that? What does it mean? When we're sleeping, what are we not doing? Yes, Hakimian.
Is it when we're most vulnerable?
You're on the right track. You're on the right track. Vulnerable, what else when you're sleeping?
Not thinking.
Okay, very good. Not thinking. What else? Are you doing anything when you're sleeping? Are you making things happen when you're sleeping?
You're dreaming.
You're what? Okay, you're dreaming. Yes, but the dreams are coming to you. You're not sitting there making the dreams happen, right? So, are you active when you're sleeping? I mean, are you making things happen when you're sleeping?
No.
No.
Yes.
That's a trick question.
I was like, okay. Very good. So what we're learning here is something very interesting. The beloved doesn't come when we're the most active. It comes when we're the most inactive. In other words, one of the ways to attract the beloved is to stop trying to make it happen. Okay, let me say that again, right? This is one of the most important lessons of this passage, right? One of the ways we can attract the beloved into our lives, the love of our lives, right? Is to stop trying to make it happen. Just relax, right? Stop looking, stop striving, stop, going out, stop, checking out, doing this, going on 1,000 websites, right? The beloved will come when you finally stop. And when you are in complete rest, psychological rest, physical rest, when you're not worried, when you're not stressed about it, when you're not, anxious and panicked, right? That's when the beloved is going to come, right? Not before. As long as you're trying to make it happen, running around, going to 5 parties every evening, going to 1,000 websites, trying to, make this happen, is not going to work, right? The beloved doesn't come at noon when you're most busy. It comes in midnight, when you finally found a state of rest. So my big suggestion to the single people in the class, right? Relax. Beloved's going to come when you're the most relaxed. And what I mean by relaxed is just you're still in your body, but you're also still in your heart. You're not worried, you're not panicking, you're not anxious. You have found ways to be good where you are, right? You're happy with where you are. You're stable, you're serene. At that moment, the beloved comes, right? So that's one important lesson we can get from midnight. Very good. Okay, let's go to a couple more lines down. Suddenly, he says, there is a world within this world, an ocean inside the water jar. Okay, that's a strange description. There's a water jar, very plain looking, but if you look inside, there's an ocean. What does this tell us about love? Or even more specifically, what does this tell us about the beloved? What does it mean that we have an ocean in a water jar? Anybody want to venture an interpretation? Okay, Lo, go ahead.
I mean, I'm not really sure if I'm at all correct, but maybe it's something like each person has so much to them, so much to their personality, that it's as if like there's so much to love within them. Like you meet a person, you look at the world and you see like this huge ocean and you think it's like insanely big and like crazy, but then you can also like you look at like a individual person and they're almost like that, like they have so much to them and so much to their personality.
Yeah, I love the way you put it. I hadn't seen it like that at all. But we always think there's an ocean of possibilities out there, and it's hard to make a choice, right? Because we think, what if there's someone better out there, right? This is usually, right, when we're with someone, we're thinking, maybe it's not the one, maybe there's someone better because the ocean out there looks so vast. But what we forget, what Lo is pointing out, is that every person is an ocean. And so all the possibilities that we're looking for out there, they're actually potentially within that person. The next time you feel like cheating, okay, let me say it. This is very important. Next time you feel like cheating because you feel your beloved not giving you what you need and they're not this and they're not that, and you're missing them, right? Every human being is an ocean, but often we don't know how to draw it out of them. And so they remain hidden, right? The reason we want to cheat is we feel we don't have something there, right? And we want to get it here. Right? But what we're forgetting is every person has everything that we need. But often the reason they're not giving that part, right, that we need is that there are some things that need to be cleared up, some things that need to be worked out, and then the person can release those gifts that we are trying to find elsewhere, right? So often, since everybody's an ocean, we know it's there, right? And so all we have to do now is try to find the key, right, to opening that jar, right, so we can receive the gifts that they have for us. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Let me see you on gallery.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Ziegel.
I think so. There's like apparently like 95% of the ocean hasn't been discovered yet. So I think you could take it into that place where there's like, it could sort of be saying the same thing that she said, but it's like there's so much to discover in a person. Like you see them on the outside, and also if you do love them, then you do see them from the inside perspective, but there's still so much more to a person than what you think they have. So there's always like, there's never an ending to how much you can explore someone and who they are.
Very good. Excellent, right? You can never, the moment you get bored with someone, it's your fault. It's your fault because you are simply exploring 5% of the ocean. You have not found the key to the depths of that person. Very often people will not release the full ocean because of different factors. But as a beloved, you can do this, right? You should be working at releasing that ocean. Okay, Lo, yes. And then Hakimian.
I don't know if I think it's fair to say that it's your fault if you get bored of a person, because every individual is responsible for, like, in a way, not like basically just telling everyone everything about themselves. Like, you're allowed to have secrets, but you're supposed to be able to be a little bit open. And if someone's not willing to be open and not willing to have a relationship, then it's not your fault if you get bored of them.
Oh yeah, of course. If they're not willing to have a relationship, there's nothing to be bored with. There's nothing there, right? But very often, what we don't understand is the role we can play in helping the other person reveal themselves. And very often, sometimes they don't reveal themselves because they don't feel safe enough to do so, right? So there is part of, not all the responsibility, but we do have part of the responsibility to help them open up, right? We are like, I think there was a Buddhist monk called Thich Nhat Hanh. I'm sure you know him, some of you. He said that the beloved is like a garden, right? And we are the gardener. And so in many ways, we are the ones who can help the beloved release everything that they have. And so we do have some responsibility, but you're right. Ultimately, the beloved has to make an effort. But we do have some role to play, I think, in helping the beloved open up, I think. Does that make sense? were you? Low.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, great, great, great. There's another hand, Hakimian, I think.
Yeah. So regarding that line, maybe this is kind of similar to what other people were saying, but when he says suddenly there's a world within this world, maybe he's trying to say that like meeting his beloved broadened his worldview and like enriched his life to like encompass a whole nother world that he hadn't seen before.
I like that a lot, right? In other words, the beloved is creating a new world within the world we already had. Boom, there's now a whole new reality. So in a way,
Yeah.
expanding, right, our world. Very good, I like that. And deepening it from within. Excellent. I hope everybody's writing these comments, right? These are all part of the lecture. The lecture is all of us today. Okay, let's skip to the next poem, which is what? Actually, quickly, let's summarize what we learned from this poem. Let's put it, I'm going to put it in the chat. So tell me a little bit, what are the few things you learned just with these couple lines that we did? Let's summarize briefly. Number one, what's the first lesson we got? There was, I think, only 2 lessons that we got from this one. Hurry up and tell me.
Is it that you shouldn't
Go
think
ahead, go
that someone? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Thank you. So, was it that you shouldn't think that there's always someone better out there, and that within each person there's an ocean, meaning that there's so much to them?
Okay, good, because with that, each person has infinite potential. No need to look elsewhere, right? What else?
The first one was, in order for love to come or the beloved to come, you must be at like your calmest state and like be serene and like full with yourself.
Beloved comes when you are at rest. Hakimian. Hakimian?
The fact that your beloved creates a new world for you.
Yes.
Something along those lines.
Beloved expands our world. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, we didn't do too much on this poem. All right, let's go to the next one, which is A Sprig of an Herb, which is, somebody tell me where this is. Page 46. All right. All right, so he begins like this, very typical Sufi approach. Learned theologians do not teach love. Love is nothing but gladness and kindness. So why does he say that theologians don't teach love? Who then teaches us? Anybody know? Why, first of all, not do the learned theologians not know anything? Yes, who raised their hands? Hakimian and Lo. All right. Go ahead. Lo, go ahead.
I think partly what he's saying is that love isn't like, you don't have a textbook on love. It's not something that you can just like give a list of bullet points and be like, this is what you have to do in order to attain love or to be loved. It's something that is very complex and hard. It's not just, it can't be written down. It's not math. It's not like a science. You know?
Exactly. Right? Even this whole class you're taking, right? Useless, right? To be honest, right? Because you will find yourself, because love ultimately is not something we can figure out. She's right? Love is something we have to simply experience, right? Exactly, Tessia Miller, you're reading my mind, right? It's an experience we have to undergo and not a problem we have to fix, right? Very often, I want you to remember this, right? When you go through a crisis, the first reaction is, let's fix this. We need to fix our marriage. We need to fix you. We need to fix me, right? But we don't realize the crisis often is there to simply be experienced. Because as we experience it, we grow, we expand, we become better lovers, right? So very good. So you cannot learn a technique or a recipe. It's not something you can fix when there's a problem. It's an experience you have to undergo, right? Very good. Tessia Miller, did you want to elaborate on this good idea of yours?
Yes, right. We learn that day by day, even as an infant age, with family, we learn what love is through family and then through dating and through life experiences. So love is not something you would see in the textbooks. It's the experience that you have with other people that you get an understanding of what is.
Excellent, right? You learn, actually the best teacher to how to love will be your beloved, right? If you really want to know how to love, ask them, how do you want me to love you? What do you need? We don't do that. We think we know, right? Zigal, would you like to add something?
Yeah, I wanted to say that throughout the class so far, I've heard you giving us like a few names of different books of people who like wrote about how to catch a girl, how to do this, how to do that. And I think that ultimately they don't really help you unless you experience it, because you can read about it all day, but if you don't have it, if you don't do it, then you just don't really know what it is.
Excellent, right? This is not something you, like the Song of Songs, right? You can't learn in a book, you have to throw yourself in it. And as you're, crawling through the situation, right? You're going to be learning some wisdom, just like the woman in the Song of Songs, right? Excellent. Yes, experience makes the master. Excellent, Aguirre. Okay, so let's go on. Now, this is interesting. Sounds like a complete triviality. When I first read it, I skipped over it, but actually it's very profound. Love is nothing but gladness and kindness. Now, how is that even possible? That it can't be that simple. So, and first of all, I'm not always glad in a relationship, right? I don't always feel happy. So what does he say? What does he mean by love is nothing but gladness and kindness? Is that true? Can love always be glad? What if I'm miserable and person has made me sad and I'm not glad? What does it mean that love is, let's start with gladness. How is it that he's saying love is always glad? Yes, Lo, go ahead.
I think that what he's saying is not necessarily that you're not allowed to be like upset. Like everyone gets upset. You have arguments, like that's life. But I think that maybe the gladness, like it refers to like being in the relationship. Like how do you feel when you like think about your relationship? Like you're happy about it. You're not like depressed. You're not like, oh my gosh, I need to go home and I need to like be with my boyfriend like the worst day. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Very good, right? What we're learning here is that gladness is more than a feeling. It's a practice, right? I choose to be glad. Even I'm upset, I can still see that overall I am happy to be in this relationship, right? So there's something here about what he's talking about here is really about appreciation, right? Even though this is not going well or this is not yet there, I can still appreciate what I have right now in the relationship, right? Or who that person is, what they're bringing to the relationship, right? Even though it's not everything yet, whatever they're bringing is still something to rejoice about, right? So gladness is not so much a feeling as a virtue that you practice. I choose to be appreciative. I choose to be glad. Zigal, go ahead.
No, you answered my question. Thank you.
Very good. Now the same goes with kindness, right? How many times do we degenerate in a fight and we start to become the meanest person on earth, right? What he's saying is likewise, right? Kindness is not natural. It's a virtue. That no matter what is happening in the relationship, you choose to be kind. Right? So this is the same thing, right? No matter what's happening in the relationship, you choose to be glad, appreciative. And no matter what is happening, no matter how they're talking to you, no matter how you're feeling right now, you choose to be civil, you choose to be courteous, you choose to be kind. This is, if you can do both, you have a treasure in your hands, right? Anybody who is capable of cultivating gladness and kindness, no matter what is going on in the relationship, has found a treasure, right? This is, if you can do this, you're good. You'll survive anything. Zigal.
Sorry. Is the person that finds the treasure the person that is able to be glad and kind, or the significant other?
Both.
Okay.
Yes, because the significant other has a treasure because he's with a person who's always appreciative and kind. Obviously, that's a treasure. But you too, if you are able to practice it, you have a treasure in the sense that you have an amazing ability to love. You have talent. You're a virtuoso, right? That's what it means to be a virtuoso in love. So you have an amazing gift, right? To be able to do that. Not many people can do that. So if you can get to that level, some people are like that naturally, by the way. It's true. Some people are easy. It's easier for them to be, that's their personality, but other people have to work at it. But once you develop it, you have a treasure, you have a gift, right? So yes, both have a treasure. Yes. Excellent. Okay, now moving down a couple lines. Do not try to be a shepherd, become the flock. Now I've always hated this quote, as you can imagine. So, but it's very, very good. What does it mean that in love we shouldn't try to be the shepherd, and why not? Why can't I lead? What's happening? What is he saying?
I think you can compare it to the Song of Songs of like, don't take control, don't think you know everything, don't go all the way, and just, you know, like follow along, just like be less in control, I guess.
Excellent, right? This is so hard for us who are like alpha males and alpha females, right? We want to be in control, but the text is saying when it comes to, see, control is great when you're trying to work on your major or study or, you know, find a job, but there's certain places in life where you have to learn the opposite skill: letting go, following, going with the flow, allowing, surrendering, right? That's what he's talking about. When it comes to relationships, whether it's with God or with human beings, we have to learn to let go, right? Surrender, go with the flow, follow, allow the other to lead us, allow the love to lead us, right? The relationship itself sometimes can bring both of us in a horrible place, we think, but there is a reason why we're there. Now let's see what we can do about it, right? Very good. I think there was another hand, which was it? I don't see it anymore. Okay. Whoever you were, you can talk. Okay, good. Okay, now we get to a kind of treacherous place, which I think I'm going to skip because I want to save time for that one question that one of you asked about the mirror. So I want to have some time for that. So let's take a break now. About 5 minutes. So you'll be back at 4:57. And actually, let's summarize quickly what we learned so far. Listening. Point 1.
Oh, hold on. Oh, that you have a choice. That gladness and kindness basically means you have a choice to either appreciate or be kind, even if it doesn't come natural to you. Yeah. And I don't know, you said something about going with the flow, surrender, and that's when love, when you're led to love. So don't always try to be in control and be uptight. Sometimes let time lead you, or go with the flow, surrender, just calm, you know.
Excellent. There's one more about who teaches us to love. Who is our best teacher?
The beloved.
Very good. Beloved is the best teacher, right? Not the books or even with this class, right? Very good. So learn to ask your beloved, right? How do you need to be loved? What do you need, right? On all levels, right? Emotionally, spiritually, physically, what do you need? How can I love you better? They will teach you. They will be so happy you asked, right? Excellent. Okay, let's take a break now. Let's do like 5 minutes. Let's meet again exactly at 5 p.m. Okay, and we'll do the next 2 poems there. All right, I will interrupt the recording and we'll be back in 5 minutes.